Oh, wow, yeah, the opportunity came up. Magic Johnson, had his hands in so many different things, and he decided to jump into a deal with MCA Records at the time and had a distribution deal with them. I was called in to seek out the talent, and I went over there. This was, I guess, right around 1999, and I was able to pull Levant out of Chicago and, bring him to the label, and we put together a platinum album. It was great.
Yeah, with the joint Separated on there, and
Separated. Man, he had I can't even think of all the songs.
Was My First Love on there, the Renee and Angela remake with Kiki Wyatt?
Oh yeah, now that was the one. That we went in the studio and got the real string section together, and the producer Steve Huff was doing his thing on there, and they put together an outstanding album. That was a whole lot of fun, and it's one of the accomplishments I look back on and say, hey, at least it went #1 and sold 1 million.
Right. Yeah, and we had an interesting side conversation prior to the interview that Mr. American Idol, Mr. Yo Dog, Randy Jackson also had a hand in that, correct? Or you can clarify?
My good friend Randy Jackson came aboard on that project right around the tail end. I think we had maybe 10 songs we were using, and we needed 14. And he ended up picking up the A&R job at MCA, so he was our liaison between Magic Johnson Music and MCA Records. So he and I got together and plotted out the last few songs that we needed to complete the project. And, Randy went on to do what he's doing. And, he's looking over at me, wondering how he can get down with me.
Like, Yo Dog, Yo Jeff, remember we worked on the Vaunt Dog, his first 3 songs was like real pitchy for me and all that, but yo, it's very good. Then he probably brought Simon and probably had tea and crumpets and all of that.
Randy's probably one of the luckiest people in the world. Randy, God bless you, brother. And, he just landed on his feet and ended up in a real good situation. We're real proud of him.
Yeah, right.
We actually shopped the Az-1 record to Randy when he was at Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew he was going to be leaving pretty soon. He worked with Mariah and the rest of the people over there. But he gave us a good review. We almost had our thing with him.
Yeah.
But, such is life.
Okay.
It turned out the way it did at Scotty Brothers. And we look back on just those times, man, from the trips to being on stage, the live performances, the autograph signing, and it's the best time of our lives.
Definitely is.
Now, how do you guys feel about the current state of the music industry and with American Idol? Ever since, I believe, Kelly Clarkson and Ruben and Fantasia, it seems like the sales of each of the finalists has, dwindled.
Well, I would say... Go ahead. You want to take that one, Sean? Well, no, go ahead. No, I would say, the talent is there. Maybe when Kelly Clarkson won and Ruben Studdard won, the early people, I think the music business, the business aspect of music has changed. And I think they've fallen off consistently with the drop-off of the overall business. I don't know if it's that the talent is any different.
Okay, so you think it's more of who's running the label and the fact that there's not really no artist development like back during the days of Motown?
I think that's a part of it, personally. I also think that just today's climate for, the sale of music is so much different. I mean, back when Az-1 was out and shortly after, and the time when, Boyz II Men were selling records, I mean, a successful record was 10 million copies then. You know what I mean? That was considered a successful record. Now, in today's climate, if you sell 1 million to 2 million, that's an extremely successful record. And again, you have to point at, the internet and the file sharing as, one of the biggest reasons for that. And, with R&B, it hasn't been at the forefront of the teen audience for a few years. And the teen audience, the young audience, is the biggest record buying market. So, with them steering, their interest towards, the records that do get bought being the hip hop records, it doesn't leave such a great opportunity for the R&B acts. But we're hoping that's, and I think it already has started to come back around with artists like Neo and even
Thick.
Yeah, Thick. Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure. And don't get me wrong, I'm a lover of hip hop. I was lucky enough to be involved with a couple of Tupac tracks, that I had the music for, and it was a great opportunity. I've always loved hip hop, but I think the biggest thing that as a music fan that I look for is balance. Balance between the different genres of hip hop, R&B, and even pop for that matter.
Now, how do you guys feel about, New Jack Swing kind of making a resurgence? Because you have, Aaron Hall going out on tour with the New Jack Swing tour, Tony, and various acts from that time period going out on tours and getting good reviews and having, fans coming out and see the shows.
That's the one thing you can't download is a live performance, really. You can watch it on your screen, but there's nothing like being there, and like I said, it was the last phase of the feel good music, you know what I mean? And you can go to a concert and see a guy perform and see Az-1 perform and see Mint Condition and Tony and Silk and Shy and those guys, Portrait, and it's number one, I'm sure it brings back a lot of great memories for people. It also introduces a whole younger genre into that feel good music, and it's something that you can't take away, just being there and experiencing the music.
Okay.
I think by having them tour again and people get a chance to listen to the music all over again and have memories of what was, and I think more new people, younger people will be introduced to it and have a love for it, and hopefully it'll influence them to help bring it back around.
Okay, now what are you guys up to nowadays?